Hey everybody, it's me, the yarn girl. It is Monday night and this is Twisted Stitches. Thank you so much for joining us for another great Monday show. We already have some up. Jillian Goldrich, I love it. Jillian, you are always here right on time. I think I log on and she logs on. It's so nice to have you join us, Jillian. We have got an amazing show for everyone tonight, and we are thrilled that you are joining us because we have Sandi Prosser here with us. And hi, Sandi. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for joining us. Uh-oh, now I don't have your volume. So hold on a minute. Hold on. I just lost your volume. Let's do something here. All right. Can everybody hear? I'm sure you can hear me. Sandi, want to speak up?
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I got you now. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. I had an echo, so I wanted to be sure I turned the echo down. So we have got a bunch of people here with us. So let me say hi to everybody because we don't want to leave anyone out. So Jillian and Lila Foster is with us. Robbie McCarthy and Nancy Robertson is here. Marianne Murray Summers, and Pam Atkins, and Donna Masong, Gina McLean. Oh my goodness, look at everybody. They're all logging on now. Robbie McCarthy, Cheryl Ballinger is with us from Florida. Michelle Mingo Lewis. I was just talking about you, Michelle. And Darren Showers is here from the Cape. Nice sweater, Darren. You got another one done. I don't know how you just crank them out like you do. Tina Yakovu, yes, dear, it must be Monday because I'm watching you too. And Lori Royce is here with us as well. So those of you who have joined us and not said hello, and those of you who are here, please welcome Sandi Prosser. Sandi, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for asking me to come.
Oh, it's been such fun. You know, I decided when I got this lovely sweater that I am wearing right now, because I just love it so much, I decided as soon as I saw this design, I wanted to use this for a knit along. And then I saw that you were the designer and I was super excited about that. So
I can get her on there.
I'm just, let me just get this volume up a little bit here so I can hear you better. Okay. So I'm going to stand up and show you all. This is and I probably can't show you the whole thing. This is the Blaire sweater and it's designed by Sandi. And this is going to be our March knit along. And I chose the pattern or this design because I felt it was fun. It's not difficult, even though it's knitted in pieces and you're going to have to do some seaming. It's not that difficult. So Sandi, tell us all about this great design.
So I design things and I love stripes. I don't know what it is. If you've ever seen any of my stuff, I do thick and thin and different widths in the same sweater. So this one was just something that was it's very simple to do. And the yarn was great to work with. So we thought, let's do it in that. And we were trying to showcase new colors. So that's where the little bit of pink came in. It was just, let's throw some pink in. Yeah.
And it's really just that one stripe around in pink.
It's the one stripe. That's it. Yeah. And it's in that part of most women's bodies where you tend at your rib cage where you're narrower.
Uh-huh.
And your eye will go to that pink.
Thank you.
Right? because at least in the colors I did, they're all very neutral, but that pink just draws your eye right in and it draws your eye to the narrowest part. So even though you're wearing wide horizontal stripes, your eye focuses on that pink.
Interesting. And I really do like it in the neutrals with that one little pop of color, whether you're doing tans or your grays. It just to keep that nice and neutral and then just pop that little bit in there. And I love how you did that. And Santa Cruz is a great yarn.
It's fabulous. I had never worked with it before. Never seen it. I hadn't seen it in any yarn shop up here.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay, let's just give it a whirl. And I love it.
Yeah, it's great. And it feels good.
And it blocks beautifully.
It does. And this is Santa Cruz is a 100% organic merino. Yeah. It's very similar to Patagonia. And so it just feels good and it does block beautifully and the colors are luscious. And I made sure that colors were in stock. So the grays are coming in. Have
Yeah.
some in the shop, but I wanted to make sure we had enough. So I checked with Knitting Fever, and they're due in this week. So they'll all be here in time for our knit along. So you can do, if you wanted to do your basics, your grays, and then you can pop in
Yeah.
any color stripe you want.
You could also, I mean, there's nothing to say you can't pick 4 different colors and just go crazy.
That's true.
Just look very, very different. And
Right.
there's nothing wrong with that either. Like
Right.
yellows and greens and charcoals and the pinks together.
About that.
Yeah.
I thought, but sure, why not? You could certainly change the different colors around and do multicolor stripes.
Multicolor. But I would try to have one color that when you see them together, your eye goes to one color
Got it.
more dominantly and use that where the pink is.
Right. Got it. Got it.
If that makes sense.
No, absolutely. So tell me about the color, the little dots in here.
Okay. So that yarn's quite heavy. It's 16 stitches to 4 inches, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And the stripes are wide. And I don't always like just to have a straight, here's one color, here's another color. I like to transition from one color to the next color.
Yeah.
That's where the bottom row of dots come in whenever you change from one color to the next. It's just one color A, one color, one B, and it switches back and forth. And then just to add interest, I did it a couple rows up, did it again.
Yep.
It's just a personal quirky thing that I just like, that transition from one to another rather than just a stark line. Like, here you go.
Well, and I hadn't noticed that in the beginning, but that certainly does draw. No, it's probably one of the things that I like so much about it, because it's color blocks without being straight blocks.
Nice. Yeah.
Really.
And when I did it, because it is Fair Isle, and I know some people shy away from it, you start doing the 1 by 1 on a wrong side row. So your yarn is on the right side when you begin, because it's knit flat. And you don't use that light gray color again until you're on 3 rows later when you're on the right side. So you never have to break that yarn to start it again. You can carry that light gray all the way up the sides of that sweater. And because there's a selvage stitch, when you're doing a mattress stitch seam, the ends that you've carried up go right in and you never see it.
Right.
So I don't like having to darn in 50,000 ends if it's not necessary. So I purposely worked it so that you didn't have to do that with the Fair Isle every time you just wanted one row of a color.
Right. Got it. So speaking of mattress stitch, well, being in the shop and hearing people say, I want something that doesn't have seams. Why not? I love seaming.
I love seaming, and to me, seaming gives a garment structure. Seaming allows you to get the shapes right. And when I block, I don't block the finished garment. Every time I've tried to soak the garment and then have it pulled out totally damp and try to get it into the shape it should be, it never works the way I want it to. So I have a carpet that I bought cheap. It's like 3 feet by 4 feet, and whatever man-made fiber it is, anything I put on it, it sticks to it. So I can stretch stuff out and I pin it, and then I take my spritzer water bottle and I soak it that way in pieces. And then only then do I seam it after I've done that. And if it's a cardigan and I've got ribbing up the front or something, I will then steam that when it's finished. But I have never had a lot of success or been happy when I've taken a finished garment and soaked it in the tub and rinsed it and done all that and then tried to get it the right shape.
Right.
I was like, no, just do it flat, get the shape you want, get it perfect that way, and then seam it. And if you want, sometimes I'll take, like when I do the shoulder seams, because I do a mattress stitch there if I haven't done a 3 needle. And I lay it flat before I sew everything else up. And I just take my steamer and I just steam that shoulder seam a little bit just to flatten it out a bit.
Uh-huh.
But if you can do more structurally with a garment, I'm sure people will tell me I'm wrong, but I think you can do more when you seam it. And it could come, I have a background in sewing as well as knitting. I have an honors bachelor of science in textiles and design. So I have been sewing since I was 7 or 8. I've sewed my own clothes. So when I'm designing things that are a little different, I see it as a garment, as pieces of fabric, and how can I make that shape. So I don't know if my love of seaming comes from that, but I think once you get the hang of seaming and you get a good result, which you can get from mattress stitch, you're not so afraid to seam things anymore.
Well, interesting that you say that you come from a sewing background. My mom was a sewing machine operator. She worked in a sweatshop my whole life, probably 80% of her life too. And I think it's that might have something to do with why when I see a seam, I go, oh yeah, I got this. It just makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm really creating. When I'm knitting, if it's in top down, in the round, whatever, I'm still enjoying myself. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about seaming that makes you feel like you've created that piece. Put the puzzle pieces together.
And it's also, to me, mentally, it goes faster because you've knit a back and then a front. It's not
right.
I've gotten half of the body done. It's I've got the whole back done, right?
Yeah.
It's more of a milestone marker to me than knitting in the round. And I'm just painfully slow knitting in the round. Painfully slow. So I think that sweater I probably knit in about 4 days.
I'd like to have 4 days of time that I can knit.
Well, and that's your job, though. That's what you have to do.
That's right. Exactly. So Michelle seams her garments. Lila Foster says I like it. It's so satisfying to match the rows. I like that too.
Yeah.
And with this, you're going to be matching the side seams. When you match, you're matching the color. So I mean, how perfect is that? You're going to know right where to go.
It's a great one if you don't like seaming or aren't comfortable doing it. It's actually a really good one to do because the straight pattern is done in rows. It's not like here, knit for 5 inches and then do something else. So you get a very visual sense of where do these two pieces match up.
Yep. So let's see. Jillian Goldrich says when I do pieces, I like to do both sleeves at the same time to make sure they're the same length. I have to make sure I do that so that the decreases are in the same place too.
Yeah. I do one, but what I end up doing is, so I've figured out most of the math already.
Right.
But I always cut myself a length of very thin, like fingering weight yarn, and I'll mark like every 10 rows. I'll wrap it around a couple.
Oh, what a good idea.
And then I just keep doing that all the way up so I can look at it and go, oh, that's 10, 20, 30, 40.
Got it. Oh, that's a good little hint. Thank you for that one.
And I do that with everything. But I've already done the math. Like this one's not bad because it's all stripes. So you're going to know if they match or they don't. But when it's a solid thing or it's cables or whatever, I sort of already have an idea, given my gauge, how many rows I have to do.
Right.
I can sort of go, but I do leave yarn markers. I have one over there. I can show you. I'll get it. I'll try to do it. It's not very far away.
Question in a moment. Thank you, Kristen. The sweater is fun. Kristen, this would be a great first sweater, honey. This would be fantastic for you.
So I don't know. Can you see it? Oh, where am I going there?
That way.
So this is what I do. These little guys right here.
Huh.
And I just catch it around a couple stitches. And then I'll do that every 10 rows. And then I know exactly how many rows I've got or how many I've done.
Yeah, right. Cool. What's on the needles?
This is my, here it is.
Oh my gosh.
It's it's Tigress cowl, I think. Tigris cowl. And I'm doing it as a scarf for my brother. So I'm doing
wow.
So I'm doing the 2 ends and then I'm gonna Kitchener stitch them. This is his Christmas present, Paulette.
You just really love him.
Well, he's my youngest brother and he's single and he has no kids. So I always knit him something. Always. He always gets something knit. And since the dawn of time, he has never gotten something finished. He'll get a ball of yarn and a sleeve so this is his Christmas present and we're into February. So.
Do you eventually finish it?
Yeah, I'm almost done. So work came first. So.
Got it. We got a couple of questions here, and this is going to be an easy one because we talked before about how you knit all your own samples. So Pam Atkins is asking, what is the size of the sample that I'm wearing?
That is a size small.
A small.
But I think, don't quote me, I think it's at least 40 or 42 inch bust finish.
Yeah, it's really nice.
But it's meant to be loose. It's meant to be big. So my gut would say it's probably 42 finished.
I'll look at the pattern. I actually don't have the pattern with me printed. Shame on me.
I'll get my phone and we'll check Ravelry.
Okay. So Kristen is asking, I just love the sweater. Yes, I really do think Kristen is a newer knitter, and she was in our knit camp last year. So she took a class on seaming and bobbles and color work, and she did all that. And yeah, Kristen, I think that this would be great. This is a great first sweater. That's easy enough to knit. You're going to practice a little bit of Fair Isle with your color work, a little bit of mosaic with the knit one, the one stitch in between there, and then you get your seaming, some decreases. I think it'd be lovely.
And there's not a lot of floats. It's not like it's heavy on the float, so it's not like you're carrying it and got to catch it behind. It's 1/1, and I think that the other one is 1 and 3.
It looks like 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I think it's 3, and then there's the Dex color. So it's a good one, and it's bulky weight. So it's not like it's taking you forever and ever and ever to do it, which is the nice part too.
I think it's going to go quickly. I really do. And one of the things you were saying before was that when you're knitting flat, you knit a back, and then you knit a front, and then you knit your sleeves. Like, wow, this is really moving along. And so I think the sense of satisfaction with flat knitting is more rewarding, fast, more repeated, as opposed to I split for the sleeves, and now I've got all this circular knitting to do before I get to the next part of it. So it just two different ways of doing it. And so I'm really thrilled about this being so on our website. I've already listed the kit. And if anybody wants different colors, as we were saying before, just let me know. Just pick out your pink, if you will. What color would you like in place of the pink? Because there are lovely. There's blues and greens and just lots of different colors that you can choose from. So let's see. We have people who are sharing things here. Let's see. Darren shared the tigress pattern.
Yes. And it's actually a really great pattern. What I did, I'm using Malabrigio Ario.
Yep.
And I did 2. I think her pattern for the cowl is 3 repeats of. It's a 56 stitch chart, and you do it 3 times. And I did the 56 chart twice because I'm not doing a cowl. I did, and I knit it in a tube.
Got it.
So that's what I like to do when I do Fair Isle like that, because then, especially in a scarf, because it's all inside. Well, it's inside the tube and you don't see it.
Right. Exactly.
You don't have to worry about, did this float catch or anything. It's like, no, it's in the tube. No one's ever going to see it.
As long as it lays flat, I'm happy.
It looks pretty though. It does look pretty because you did really well. There's only a few spots where you have to carry it. You have to carry it over more than 5 stitches. So.
Okay, so what do we have here? Let's see. Deb Massa shared the Blaire pattern, but if you go to Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl and you put Blaire in our in the search bar, you'll find the knit along. It'll be right there. And Gina McLean is asking, is the collar knitted separately or are stitches picked up? So is the collar sewn in or are they picked up stitches?
Picked up. It's picked up.
Yep. Yep.
There's nothing to say you could not knit it separately as a tube and sew it on, but it is picked up.
Right. Right. So Kristen, I can't wait. Chris, I can't wait to do the knit along. Me either, Deb. And we're gonna be doing our knit along. It's actually gonna be on a Sunday.
Oh,
We've
wow.
never done a knit along on a Sunday, but I thought this would be a great way that we can get some folks in the shop when I can actually sit and knit with you. Because when in a knit along or whatever, whenever we have open knitting in the shop, I'm here working while everybody else is knitting. So I thought this would be a great way to do it. And then that way we can also zoom in our remote folks, because we have people who will join from all over the country, and we have our big screen TV. So we turn the TV on as our monitor, and we have everybody in the same room at the same time. So
and that way, if somebody gets stuck, there's somebody there to help them.
Right, exactly. And
so don't think you can't message me on Ravelry or on Instagram if you've got a question or you don't understand something. Just message me.
And thank you.
Most definitely answer. It's not. I try to answer quite quickly because I know that people are waiting for an answer so they can keep knitting. So, don't feel you can't reach me.
Kristen, you want me to model it from top down? It's really from the top down. Let me see if I can do that.
Okay. You've got it back in the shop.
How long it is. It's a little short for the pants I'm wearing, but there you go. So it comes just now. I'm short, so on a taller person, it's going to be a little bit shorter. But so where do you figure falls, mid hip or low hip?
No, I think it's mid. I don't think it's. I'm trying to think. I think it's about 24 inches long, so I think it's mid hip.
Okay, let me see here. Hold on a minute. Where are my pictures? Because I sent Paul a picture of it today. So here you go. Let's show it to you on the model.
Yeah, so that's mid hip.
It's mid hip. Yeah, definitely mid hip. So it's not a tunic length.
No.
That just make sure you all know that. For me, it's a little longer because I'm just so short. But I would wear it this length. I don't think I would have to make it any shorter.
It would not be hard to shorten though. It would not be hard.
It would not be hard for you.
No, but because it's knit flat. So when it's knit flat and there's no shaping on the sides. So there's nothing to say I wanted an inch shorter, then you just start the shoulder shaping an inch shorter.
Right, got it.
And then I think the pattern's going to say, depending on the size, mark down this many inches.
Right.
On the shoulders, and that's where your sleeve goes. So if you took an inch off, it's not going to really affect anything.
Nobody's going to know that. I mean, it's not going to affect the blocking at all. It's just going to, yeah. Yep.
Because as you go up in size, it's going to move up in increments. I think mostly half an inch. So it'll be half an inch longer in a small to a medium. It'll get gradually a little bit longer. So your stripes aren't going to necessarily all end at that point where the sample size does.
Right. Right.
So if you took off half an inch or an inch, nobody's.
So Deb Mass is saying, I want a blue stripe. So all the colors are on the website. Paul, thank you, honey. Paul posted the link to the knit along. So this is, I mean, they have like 3 or 4 different blues. So take your pick. I think I may do this pretty blue. I like this one. And
I think they have a really nice limey green color too. I think. I can't remember now.
There's
it's been a while. It's been a while since I knit that. So
there's this green.
Yeah.
Yep. So Rashawn is asking, can we make it a little bit longer?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So
the pattern is written in stripes. So it's work this color, then this color, this color, this color, and then repeat that stripe pattern. There is a repeat, and just make it longer.
Got it.
As long as you want.
Right. So make an extra stripe, are you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can even take a sweater that you have that you love the length of, measure it, here at your neck, because there is, I think that shoulder drop is 2 or 2.5 or 3 inches. There's quite a shoulder drop. So measure it right up the nape of your neck measure a sweater you like down from the neck band on the sweater you like to the hem, and then knit to that length if this one isn't that length.
Got it. Got it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what I do with all my sweaters. I do wind up finding that favorite sweater in my closet,
Yeah.
and using that as the dimensions for the length and for the sleeve lengths.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I'll buy a sweater just because I like the fit of it, so I can come home and measure it. Like, what is this? All the time.
Yep.
You never really know. You never really know. That's why it's always good to measure one that you've already got, because that gives you how much ease you like. Like, that's a fairly heavy weight, so you don't want it really close to your body.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And on the website, we have all the measurements and how much yarn is included for each different size. So all the finished bust measurements are there, so you know which size you should go by.
Yeah.
And it has a nice variety of sizing as well.
Yeah, I can't even remember what it goes up to. I looked at it earlier, but I don't even remember.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna look right now.
And if you tell me the width, the finished bust of the small, I can tell you the ease.
Okay, I'll tell you right now. I've only looked it up 4 times today. You'd think I know everything about it by now.
I knit it. You think I'd know?
I'm gonna put your. Why is it doing that now? I find sometimes that if they have too many matches, I just put the designer's name in.
Yep. Yeah.
With the pattern. So this is it. All right. So let's see here. So the finished bust on the smallest size, and which would be an extra small.
Okay.
Is 39.5. And for small, it's 43.5.
So 43.5. And technically with KFI patterns, we use the Craft Council standards. So a small is a 32 to 34 inch bust. So
okay.
A 39 finished bust is, oh my God, can't do math today. 5 to 7 inches of ease.
There you go. It's 5 to 7 inches of ease. Perfect. Deb Massa, you want to know what color I'm holding up? She's putting in her order now. Color number 140. And it goes up to a 5X.
A 5X, okay.
Yep. So 39.5 is your smallest finished bust, and the largest is 71.5. So it encompasses everybody's shape out there. So we got you all covered. And as you were saying before, Sandy, the length is going to change along with the body size, the bust size as well. So it's all proportionate.
It's all proportionate, yeah. But there's nothing to say you can't chop off an inch or 2 inches.
Right. Exactly. Or add an inch. So
and usually that has to do, the reason it does that is because your sleeve depth is typically larger the larger in size you go.
Right.
So when I write, I usually keep it the same to the armhole. And then the armhole is where those extra half inches come in.
Got it.
Because otherwise you're knitting a sweater where the armhole's, way down and it's short, right?
I've seen a few of those.
Proportion. You have to, but it's better.
That's great. So are there any other questions for Sandy? Let's see. I'm going to see. Oh, this is so funny. Kristen Parkhurst. Hi, Mom. My mom is watching from Florida. Hi, Mom. Thank you for joining us, Kristen's mom. That's so funny. We have such a good time here. And I'm so thrilled that you were here to join us tonight, Sandy. Thank you.
I will say to anybody who wants to do it circular, you can do it circular up until the armhole, until you've got to figure out where your armhole is going to be first off. And you can do it, but you're going to have to do it back and forth after that point. And if you're doing that because of the ferrule, you're going to have to do jogless joins and ferrule jogless joins, and it honestly may not be worth it.
I will just say that you just made it so easy to knit this thing flat.
The pattern's written with a selvage stitch to use for your seam.
Right, exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's not like you have to, it's not like in the olden, when I started knitting and you had to add a selvage stitch to everything.
Right. Right.
Right? Do you remember having to do that? I remember having. They never had a seam. So it's there, and I would use it because the headache of doing a ferrule in the round in a bulkier weight yarn is not worth it.
I don't know. Maybe there are fans out there who would have thought of doing that, but I say let's do what you intended it to be, and I think we're all going to have a fabulous time with it.
And it might inspire people that don't like to seam to actually to embrace it.
Absolutely.
It's dead mattress stitch is what I would use. I would not use anything other than mattress stitch. And mattress stitch really is quite simple.
Don't you love when you're sewing it on the outside and then all of a sudden you see the seam on the inside?
I love it.
It's like magic.
And a lot of people struggle with having a nice edge.
Right.
So a mattress stitch, it's gone.
Right.
It's gone. Like
absolutely.
And you've got a thing to weave in all your ends. And if you have to rip it out, I do it all the time. Paul and I were talking about this before. I said, I don't think there's a garment I've ever knit that I haven't ripped out at least twice.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And I said, that's such a great thing for us to hear. I can't tell you how many times I think I get it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what did I do? And take it out. And I know that I will be a happier person.
Yep.
For having gone back and fixed it.
Yeah. I'm the same because I will always notice it. And I'll be sitting up in my office knitting them out and I'll go, oh, and I'll swear my husband will go, you did it again, didn't you? It's coming out. It's coming out. But
I usually swear when Paul comes in and I'm counting and he starts talking to me.
I just count louder. I count louder.
Right, exactly. So Pam says, thank you. I love the sweater. I walked into the shop and stopped in my tracks to look at it. It is. It's right at the front door. And we do love having it here. So I'm going to go to our sharing bucket. Hold on one moment.
If anybody, it's my name. It's just my name on Ravelry. It's Sandi, capital S, and then Prosser, capital P on Ravelry. And on Instagram, it's Sandi Prosser Designs. You can find me there. And anyone ever needs any help, just message me and I will be more than happy to get you sorted out.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Sandi, thank you for saying that we're the best. I do appreciate it. And Tina, you're not alone. No, ripping things out. Absolutely not. Kristen saying the same thing. Music to my ears.
Yeah.
And Darren says you can always hire someone to seam it for you. You can, but you can also learn to do it yourself. I'd rather teach you to fish.
Yeah.
And you'll be a better person later on.
Now, does Darren seam? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, Darren. Do you seam? I wonder. And Gina Sensio, thank you so much. I missed Jean's comment up above. Thank you. Yes, it is a beautiful sweater. Thank you, Robbie. And Joanne Guzowski is the winner tonight from our sharing bucket. So Joanne, you have just won a prize from Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. And I'm going to thank you all for joining us tonight. And a special thank you to Sandi. You are amazing. I'm so glad I reached out to you. And thank you so much.
And I'll see you when Noro comes out.
You will be seeing us? I didn't want to ask if you had something in the magazine. I thought you might, though.
Actually, yeah, I do. I have one piece.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And it's really cute. You're going to love it.
We'll look forward to it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, so Darren said he's only done top-down sweaters. Now,
there you go.
Might be time, Darren. It might be time. Embrace the seaming.
Embrace it.
What?
Embrace it. He's got to
embrace it. Absolutely. Okay, everybody. Good night. We'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.